Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! In the quiet confines of his mother's room, Harvey embraced a secret passion. He stepped in front of the mirror, the floor-length reflection showing him adorned in a delicate pink floral dress. It fit him perfectly, accentuating his slim figure. A mix of emotions stirred within as he gazed at himself. Excitement battled a hint of trepidation, keeping his heart on edge. The soft, warm light of dusk added a touch of magic to the scene, causing the nude heels on his feet to glisten. Harvey had found solace in these clandestine moments, where he could be true to himself away from the rigid expectations of the corporate environment. At 32, he'd mastered the art of donning a masculine facade at work, but here, in his childhood sanctuary, he allowed his true self to emerge. He'd been borrowing her clothes since his teenage years, though the frequency had increased in recent months. The sound of keys jingling in the front door lock froze him mid-twirl. His blood turned to ice. No one was supposed to be home. His mother wasn't due back for another 3 days. "Mom!" a female voice called out. "Your car's in the driveway, but the house is so quiet. Are you home?" Melissa, his sister, who was supposed to be at college 3 states away. Harvey's mind raced frantically. His own clothes lay discarded in his bedroom. There was no way to reach them without passing the entryway where Melissa now stood. The bathroom connected to his mother's bedroom offered no escape route. Footsteps approached down the hallway. "Mom?" The bedroom door, left slightly ajar in his certainty of solitude, slowly pushed open. Time stopped as Melissa appeared in the doorway, her eyes widening in shock as she took in the sight of her older brother in their mother's sundress and heels. Harvey couldn't breathe, couldn't move, couldn't even form words to explain away the unexplainable. Melissa's overnight bag slipped from her fingers, landing with a soft thud on the carpet. "Harvey?" The silence between them stretched painfully. Harvey expected disgust, mockery, or horrified confusion. His hands clutched reflexively at the fabric of the dress, as if somehow he could make it disappear. To his astonishment, Melissa closed the door behind her and leaned against it. Her expression shifted from shock to something more complex, concern mixed with understanding. "How long?" she asked simply. Harvey swallowed hard, finding his voice at last. "Since I was 15, he whispered. "Please don't tell Mom." Melissa crossed the room and sat on the edge of the bed, patting the space beside her. "Come sit down. You look like you might pass out." Moving awkwardly in the heels, Harvey made his way to the bed and perched stiffly beside his sister, careful to leave space between them. "Why didn't you ever say anything?" Melissa asked, her voice gentle in a way that made Harvey's eyes sting with unexpected tears. "And say what, exactly?" "Hey, family, I like wearing women's clothes. How would that conversation go?" The words came out more bitterly than he'd intended. Melissa reached out and took his trembling hand. "Probably better than you think, at least with me." Harvey stared at their joined hands, noticing how his clear nail polish caught the light. "I never meant for anyone to find out." "Well, I did. And I'm not running away screaming, am I?" A small smile tugged at Melissa's lips. "Though I am a little annoyed you've been wearing Mom's clothes without permission. That's just rude." A surprised laugh escaped Harvey.
"That's what concerns you?"
"Among other things." Melissa studied him thoughtfully. The dress actually suits you, but those heels are all wrong for your height, and your foundation doesn't match your neck. Harvey blinked in confusion. What? If you're going to do this, you should do it properly. Melissa squeezed his hand. And maybe stop borrowing clothes from our 57-year-old mother. Her style isn't exactly youthful. I don't understand. Harvey shook his head. You're offering fashion advice? What I'm offering is help, if you want it. Melissa's expression grew serious. This clearly matters to you, and you're my brother. I want you to be happy. Something broke loose in Harvey's chest. A knot of shame and fear he'd carried for so long, he'd forgotten it wasn't a natural part of him. Tears spilled down his cheeks, smearing the carefully applied mascara. Oh, honey. Melissa pulled him into a hug. We definitely need to get you some waterproof makeup. Harvey laughed through his tears, clinging to his sister. I never thought anyone would understand. There's nothing to understand. This is just another way you express yourself. Melissa pulled back, wiping a smudge of mascara from under his eye. Though we should probably talk about why you feel you need to hide it. For the next 2 hours, they talked. Really talked, in a way they hadn't since childhood. Harvey explained how he'd discovered this part of himself, the thrill and comfort he felt when dressed in feminine clothing, and the constant fear of discovery. Melissa listened attentively, asking questions without judgment. So, what do you call yourself? When you're dressed like this? Melissa asked eventually. Harvey hesitated. I've never said it out loud before. Try. Alana, he whispered, the name feeling both foreign and deeply familiar on his tongue. I call myself Alana. Melissa smiled. It's pretty. It suits you. It feels right, Harvey admitted. But I don't know what any of this means. I'm not unhappy being a man most of the time. I just also feel complete when I'm Alana. You don't have to have all the answers right now. Melissa stood up. What matters is that you stop hiding this part of yourself, at least with the people who love you, starting with me. Harvey, now feeling more like Alana in this moment, looked up at his sister with grateful tears. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Melissa grinned mischievously. First, you're going to take off Mom's dress before you stretch it out. Then we're going shopping. You deserve your own clothes. The following weekend marked the beginning of Alana's proper emergence. Melissa arrived at Harvey's door early Saturday morning, armed with makeup supplies, a measuring tape, and determination. First rule, she announced as she spread her arsenal of cosmetics across Harvey's bathroom counter, is that foundation must match your skin tone exactly. Harvey, dressed in comfortable jeans and a plain navy t-shirt, watched with fascination as Melissa tested various shades against his wrist. I've been using what I could discreetly buy without raising suspicion, he admitted. Well, that explains the orange tint I noticed last week. Melissa held up a bottle triumphantly. This one, natural beige. It's perfect for your undertones. For the next hour, Melissa guided Harvey through a proper makeup routine, explaining each step with professional precision. How do you know all this? Harvey asked, as Melissa demonstrated proper blending technique. 3 years as a department store makeup artist during undergrad, Melissa replied. Close your eyes. I'm doing your lids now. When she finally allowed Harvey to look in the mirror, he gasped. The face looking back at him was still recognizably his own, yet somehow softer, the features more refined. This is... Words failed him. Just wait until we add the wig. Melissa disappeared into her room, returning with a long, blonde wig. I ordered this online. The quality is decent, but if you decide to keep doing this, we should invest in something better. She positioned the wig carefully over Harvey's short brown hair, adjusting until it sat naturally. The transformation was remarkable. Long blonde locks framed his face, falling past his shoulders in gentle waves. "What do you think?" Melissa asked. Harvey couldn't speak. The person in the mirror looked so right, so authentically him, that tears threatened to ruin the careful makeup application.
"I look like... me,"
he finally whispered. "Like Alana." Melissa squeezed his shoulder. "Ready for the next step? I've got some clothes in my car." The clothes Melissa brought were simple but feminine. A knee-length navy blue skirt, a cream-colored blouse with subtle lace details at the collar, and a pair of sensible flats. "I guessed at your size," she explained. "We can get more precise measurements later." When Harvey emerged from the bathroom fully dressed, Melissa applauded. "Much better than Mom's old sundress." Harvey, no, in this moment definitely Alana, smoothed down the skirt nervously. "Do I look okay?" "You look beautiful," Melissa said honestly. "But more importantly, do you feel okay?" Alana considered the question. "I feel... right. Like I'm finally seeing a version of myself that's always been there, just hidden. That's what matters." Melissa checked her watch. "We have an appointment at a boutique downtown in an hour. My friend Vanessa owns it. She's expecting us." Panic flashed across Alana's face. "Outside? In public? I can't—" "You can," Melissa said firmly. "Vanessa's shop is private, discreet, and she specifically caters to people in your situation. This is a safe first step." Alana took a deep breath. "Will you stay with me?" "Every second," Melissa promised. The drive downtown was tense, with Alana constantly checking her reflection in the visor mirror and adjusting her blonde wig. Every stoplight became an opportunity to inspect herself for any sign that might give her away. "You look fine," Melissa reassured her for the 10th time. "Better than fine. You look natural. What if someone recognizes me? In a different part of town, wearing clothes they've never seen you in, with completely different hair and makeup? Unlikely." Melissa turned into a small parking lot behind a discreet storefront.
"Besides, would it be the end of the world if they did?"
Alana didn't answer. The truth was, she didn't know anymore. A week ago, discovery had been her greatest fear. Now, having shared her secret with Melissa, the terror had diminished slightly. Not gone, but manageable. Vanessa's boutique, Transformations, looked like any upscale women's clothing store from the outside, with tasteful displays in the windows and a polished interior visible through the glass door. A small sign indicated the shop was open by appointment only. Melissa led the way, opening the door to the sound of a gentle chime. A tall woman with auburn hair, styled in an elegant bob, looked up from behind the counter and smiled warmly. "Melissa, right on time." Her gaze shifted to Alana, standing nervously in the doorway. "And you must be the sister I've heard about. Come in, please." Alana shot a questioning look at Melissa, who whispered, "Just go with it." Vanessa locked the door behind them and turned the sign to closed. "There. Now we have complete privacy for your consultation." The boutique was beautiful. Racks of stylish clothing organized by color and type, comfortable seating areas with plush chairs, and several spacious changing rooms separated by heavy curtains. "First time shopping as yourself?" Vanessa asked Alana directly, her tone matter-of-fact and kind. Alana nodded, unable to find her voice. Well, you've come to the right place. Melissa explained your situation, and I'm here to help you build a wardrobe that makes you feel authentic and beautiful. Vanessa gestured around the shop. Everything here is designed to flatter a variety of body types. Many of my clients are on journeys similar to yours. The straightforward acceptance in Vanessa's manner helped Alana relax slightly. I don't know where to start, she admitted. Let's begin with proper measurements, Vanessa suggested, producing a measuring tape. Then we'll talk about the styles and colors that would suit you best. The next 2 hours were a revelation. Vanessa moved efficiently, helping Alana try various styles and teaching her how certain cuts could enhance feminine features and downplay masculine ones. Melissa offered opinions and encouragement from the sidelines, occasionally stepping in to suggest a different color or accessory. By the time they finished, Alana had a modest but versatile collection of clothes that actually fit properly. 2 skirts, 3 blouses, a simple black dress, and a pair of comfortable women's jeans designed to create the illusion of curves. How do you feel? Melissa asked as they loaded the discreetly packaged purchases into the car. Alana looked back at the boutique, then down at herself, still dressed in the navy skirt and cream blouse. Like I've taken a step I can't take back, and I'm okay with that. The drive home was considerably more relaxed, with Alana even daring to smile at a woman in the car next to them at a stoplight, who smiled back without a second glance. See? Melissa said. To the world, you're just a woman running errands with her sister. Nothing extraordinary about that at all. Over the next few months, Harvey continued his corporate job during the week, while Alana emerged with increasing frequency during evenings and weekends. Melissa remained his constant ally, helping him refine his feminine presentation and providing emotional support during moments of doubt. Their mother's scheduled return from her extended visit with her sister prompted the first real crisis. The night before she was due home, Harvey paced his bedroom, alternating between panic and resignation. I should tell her, he told Melissa during their nightly phone call.
Before she finds out some other way.
Are you ready for that? Melissa asked.
There's no rush. You could wait until you feel more secure in this part of yourself.
Harvey sat heavily on his bed, looking at the closet where Alana's clothes now hung neatly beside his own. I'm tired of hiding. Mom and I have always been close. Keeping this from her feels wrong. Then tell her, Melissa said simply. I can be there if you want. Would you? Of course. That's what sisters are for. Their mother arrived home the following afternoon, full of stories about her sister's new retirement community and laden with souvenirs for both her children. Harvey helped carry her luggage inside, his stomach nodding with anxiety about the conversation to come. Melissa arrived an hour later, giving Harvey a reassuring nod as their mother busied herself preparing dinner. The meal passed in comfortable family conversation, with no indication of the revelation to come. Finally, as they settled in the living room with coffee, Harvey cleared his throat. Mom, there's something important I need to tell you. Their mother set down her cup, giving him her full attention. That sounds serious. Are you all right? Harvey glanced at Melissa, who nodded encouragingly. I'm fine. Actually, better than fine. I've discovered something about myself that I've been keeping secret for a long time, and I don't want to hide it anymore. With halting words at first, then with increasing confidence, Harvey explained about Alana, how this part of him had always existed, how Melissa had accidentally discovered his secret, and how embracing this aspect of himself had brought him unexpected peace. Their mother listened without interruption, her expression thoughtful but unreadable. When Harvey finally fell silent, the pause that followed seemed endless. "Would you like to see?" Harvey asked hesitantly. "How I look as Alana?" Their mother reached across and took his hand. "I would, very much." 20 minutes later, Harvey returned to the living room, transformed. The blonde wig was now styled in a more sophisticated cut that framed his face perfectly. He wore a simple emerald green dress that complemented his coloring, with minimal jewelry and subtle makeup. Their mother's eyes widened, then filled with tears.
"Mom?"
Harvey's voice shook slightly. She stood and approached him slowly, reaching out to touch the sleeve of his dress. "You're beautiful," she said softly. "I'm just sorry you felt you needed to hide this from me for so long." "You're not upset?" "Honey, the only thing that upsets me is thinking of you struggling with this alone." She pulled him into a fierce hug. "And I'm a little annoyed you borrowed my clothes without asking. That pink floral dress has been missing for weeks." Harvey laughed through his tears, the sound surprisingly feminine. "Melissa said the same thing." Their mother stepped back, wiping her eyes. "Well, she's right. Though I have to say, you have better taste as Alana than you ever did as Harvey. That green is perfect on you." "So you accept this? Accept me?" "You're my child. I love all of you, Harvey and Alana both." She smiled at Melissa over his shoulder. "Thank you for being there for your brother, or should I say sister in this case." "Sibling works," Harvey said thoughtfully. "Though when I'm dressed like this, I prefer female pronouns." "Then that's what we'll use." Their mother gestured to the couch. "Now sit down and tell me everything I've missed. I want to hear about this boutique Melissa mentioned." The acceptance from both his sister and mother gave Alana the confidence to expand her existence beyond the safety of home. Over the next year, she began appearing more frequently and in wider circles. Harvey still maintained his corporate job and masculine persona during business hours, but evenings and weekends increasingly belonged to Alana. The decision to introduce Alana to friends came gradually. Harvey's closest friend, Daniel, was the first test case outside the family. The reveal happened during a casual dinner at Harvey's apartment.
"So there's someone important I'd like you to meet," Harvey said as they finished their meal. Daniel raised an eyebrow. "You're seeing someone? That's great. When do I get to meet her?" "Actually, you already know her." Harvey took a deep breath. "She's me." Daniel's confusion was evident, but his reaction to the full explanation, and Alana's subsequent appearance in a coral blouse and tailored black pants, was one of surprised acceptance. "This is going to take some getting used to," Daniel admitted, studying his friend's transformed appearance. "But I've always thought you seemed like you were holding something back. This makes a weird kind of sense." One by one, Alana was introduced to Harvey's closest friends. Most reactions were positive, though not all friendships survived the revelation. The losses hurt, but Alana found they hurt less than she'd expected. Each person who accepted her reinforced the growing conviction that living authentically was worth the occasional rejection. The most significant challenge came 6 months later, when a promotion at work prompted Harvey to reconsider the strict separation between his professional and personal lives. The new position would involve more client interaction, more visibility within the company, and potentially more scrutiny of his personal life. "I can't keep compartmentalizing forever," Harvey told his mother and Melissa during a family dinner. It's exhausting maintaining these separate identities.
Are you thinking of transitioning full-time? Melissa asked. Harvey considered the question. Over the past year, Alana had evolved from an occasional expression to an integral part of his identity. The times spent as Harvey felt increasingly performative, while his moments as Alana felt natural and right.
I think I am, he said slowly. Not just in how I dress, but in every aspect of my life.
That's a big step, their mother observed.
Have you thought about what it means professionally? The company has diversity policies that should protect me technically, but the reality might be more complicated.
Harvey pushed his food around his plate.
I could lose the promotion. I could lose my job entirely.
You could also find freedom, Melissa pointed out, and a workplace that values all of you. The decision wasn't made that night, but the conversation marked a turning point. Over the next 2 months, Harvey consulted with a therapist specializing in gender identity, researched the legal aspects of transition, and had several honest conversations with himself about what he truly wanted. The answer, when it finally crystallized, was simple: to live as Alana, completely and openly. The practical implementation was far more complex. Harvey began by meeting with human resources, armed with the company's own policies and a carefully prepared statement. The HR director, a woman in her 50s with a reputation for professionalism, listened attentively to his explanation. "I appreciate your openness, Harvey," she said when he finished. "The company does have procedures in place for employees undergoing gender transition. I'll need to consult with legal about the specifics of your situation, but will support you through this process." The weeks that followed involved countless meetings, paperwork, and planning. A transition timeline was established, with clear communication protocols for informing colleagues and clients. Harvey was both terrified and relieved to have the process formalized. The day Alana officially arrived at work marked the end of Harvey's divided existence. She wore a conservative navy blue dress with a matching blazer, her now natural blonde hair, grown out over months and professionally colored, styled in a simple bob. The makeup was subtle, professional, and flawlessly applied thanks to Melissa's continued coaching. Stepping into the office that morning required more courage than anything Alana had ever done. Eyes followed her as she walked to her desk, whispers trailing in her wake. Her supervisor had distributed an official email announcement the previous day, but seeing was different from reading. "Good morning, Alana," her assistant said without missing a beat, placing a coffee on her desk. "Your 9 o'clock called to confirm, and the quarterly reports are ready for your review." The simple normalcy of the interaction nearly brought tears to Alana's eyes. "Thank you, Robert." Not everyone was as immediately accepting. There were awkward pauses in conversation, mistaken pronouns quickly corrected, and a few colleagues who clearly went out of their way to avoid her. But there were also unexpected allies, people who made points of eating lunch with her, including her in conversations, treating her transition as unremarkable. The client meeting scheduled that afternoon had worried Alana the most. These were long-standing business relationships, people who had known Harvey for years. How would they react to Alana? As she entered the conference room, conversation momentarily halted. Alana straightened her shoulders and smiled professionally. "Good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate you all coming in today." The client's CEO, a man in his 60s, whom Alana had always found intimidating, studied her for a long moment before extending his hand.
"Congratulations on the promotion,"
he said simply.
"These reports look excellent. Shall we get started?"
The meeting proceeded normally after that initial moment of tension. There were occasional slips with pronouns, quickly corrected, but the focus remained on business. By the time the clients departed, Alana felt a weight lifting from her shoulders. She could do this. She could be herself professionally and still excel. The transition at work, while challenging, proved manageable. More surprising was how the full integration of Alana into every aspect of life affected her personally. The constant vigilance, the energy spent maintaining separate identities, had taken a toll she hadn't fully recognized until it was gone. 6 months after her workplace transition, Alana sat in Vanessa's boutique, now as a regular customer rather than a nervous first-timer. "I hardly recognize you from that first visit," Vanessa commented, as Alana tried on a burgundy pencil skirt. "Not just the clothes, but how you carry yourself. You've blossomed." Alana studied her reflection. The woman in the mirror looked confident, at ease in her skin in a way that still occasionally surprised her. "I feel like I've been holding my breath my entire life, and finally learned how to breathe." "That's the difference between hiding and living," Vanessa said wisely. "Speaking of which, have you thought about dating yet?" Alana laughed, a little nervously. "One major life change at a time." "Fair enough."
But when you're ready, I know some wonderful people who would appreciate a woman like you.
The idea of dating as Alana was both terrifying and intriguing. Harvey's romantic life had been sporadic and never entirely satisfying, something he now understood as connected to his incomplete sense of self. But Alana was still finding her footing in the world. Dating could wait. Life settled into new patterns. Family dinners with her mother and Melissa became highlights of Alana's week. Her friendship circle shifted and eventually expanded, losing some connections but gaining others who valued her authenticity. Work stabilized, with the initial curiosity about her transition fading into workplace normalcy. 1 year to the day after Melissa had walked in on Harvey in their mother's pink floral sundress, the three of them gathered for a celebration dinner at Alana's apartment. Melissa brought champagne, their mother brought dessert, and Alana cooked a meal more ambitious than anything Harvey would have attempted. "A toast," Melissa said, raising her glass, "to courage, authenticity, and the sister I didn't know I had until a year ago." "To family," their mother added, "and loving people for who they truly are." Alana looked at the two women who had supported her through this journey and felt a profound gratitude. "To second chances," she offered quietly, "and to finally becoming the person I was always meant to be." Later, after her family had gone home, Alana stood before the mirror in her bedroom. Not her mother's mirror, not a stolen moment, but her own reflection in her own space. She wore a simple nightgown, her blonde hair loose around her shoulders. The face looking back at her was serene, the eyes clear and honest. Harvey had ceased to exist except as a memory, a chrysalis shed to reveal the woman who had always lived within. Alana placed her hand against the mirror, connecting with her reflection in silent acknowledgement. "Hello, me," she whispered. "It's nice to finally meet you properly." The journey had been neither simple nor straightforward. There would be challenges ahead, adjustments still to navigate, a lifetime of moments both difficult and joyful. But for the first time, Alana would face them as her complete self. No more hiding, no more division, just the authentic woman she had always been waiting to emerge. And that, she discovered, made all the difference. Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!